Hi guys, good evening and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video I'll be discussing what I thought of the latest and very good episode of AMC's Fear the Walking Dead. It dropped its newest episode earlier today on AMC Plus. It will be dropping on regular AMC, on regular TV later this weekend, on Sunday to be exact. But if you have AMC Plus like I do, you can watch it now, which is why I'm uploading my reviews for it. So if you're not caught up on Fear the Walking Dead by the latest episode, which is episode 4 of season 8, you do not want to keep watching or listening, as I'm obviously going to be talking about spoilers, plot details, character stuff, all that jazz. That being said, you have been warned. So, diving right into it, I really enjoyed this episode. This felt like kind of like a full circle episode for Morgan, going back to the very beginning where we first met him in the pilot episode for The Walking Dead, the beginning of this whole damn universe and franchise, taking it all the way back to King County, Georgia, to the house where he, Rick, and Dwayne held up in, and seeing flashes of Dwayne, his late wife, Jenny. I mean, man, that was... First off, it was quite nostalgic. It feels like a lifetime ago, but really it was only like 10, 13 years ago that was. Which is just insane to me how fast time has gone by since the show premiered in late 2010. My God, how much has happened since then in general, am I right? But God, so this episode felt like a good closure. Felt like a good closure episode, closing this certain chapter on this chapter in Morgan's life, because this is something that's always been on the back of his mind, the death of his wife and son, not properly putting either one of them to rest. And then finally being able to put Dwayne down, and of course it's under the most scariest, horrific of circumstances when he has to save his adopted daughter from his former, now living dead son. And he finally puts him down via headshot with the rifle that Rick gave him all those years ago. And it's this really sad, but kind of makes sense moment at the same time, where the only way he could save one child was to put down another child. Well, I don't want to make it sound like that, but you know what I mean? Like a former child of his, someone who hadn't been a child in a very, very long time. So it makes sense that in the final season of a show like this, they would have scenes or an episode dedicated to closing out the chapter of like a character's life or a lead character's life story. The one thing I didn't like about this episode is that it made me really I already hate Padre with a passion, and it made me hate them even more, because I hate seeing characters pitted against each other like dogs in a cage match. With Dwight and Sherry against Grace and Morgan, they're in a horrible situation themselves. They're being forced to hunt down Morgan and bring him back in exchange for the safety of their own son, who is apparently alive and well despite the walker bite in the shoulder from the previous episode. So does this radiation therapy actually work? Have they found a way to cure bites, or is it just delaying the inevitable, which is death and transformation into a walker? I guess we'll find out as time goes on. But yeah, it's trippy, man. I was not expecting to see that kid again. I did love seeing him knock out Shrike, though. That was satisfying to watch. I liked that. And obviously, Dwight and Sherry came to Morgan's aid when he needed it. When the other two Padre soldiers were ready to execute him, they were like, no, fuck this. And they took him down. So that was good. But still, I don't like seeing our characters pitted against each other like that, because it feels like it undoes all the good and the progress they've made in their relationship over the years. But thankfully, this was just a little speed bump, and then things got back to normal for all of them. Well, normal in terms of their relationship to one another. But I really enjoyed this episode. It was great being back in King County, old stomping grounds, name-dropping Rick, which was awesome. Seeing flashes of Dwayne and Jenny. Obviously, I don't think that was the same character, the actor who played Dwayne, because that young man has got to be close to my age, if not slightly younger than me by now. So he'd probably be a tall older Dwayne, which would work if this was like a dream or something. But since Dwayne died at the age that he was at, it would make sense that he's still the same height and relative age that he was when he turned as a walker. Good makeup job on him. You know, it did kind of look like the original actor, but I doubt it was. But they did a good job making him look like a zombified version of that character from back in those days. So yeah, I liked it a lot. This was a great episode. You know, it had some really gut-punching emotional moments with Morgan, with Dwight, with Sherry, with their son, with Grace, with Mo. I mean, everybody just had a gut punch of a moment. And then as soon as Grace, I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because Grace reveals to Morgan the cancer is coming back, or the radiation has reared its ugly head and she's dying again. Or not again, but she thinks she's dying for real this time. And then she gets bit by the walkers, saving Mo's life. You know, as soon as I saw the walker's mouth disappear, the head move kind of slightly out of camera, when Morgan and Grace were pulling Mo away from it, I'm like, oh no. And as soon as she looked at herself, like, I thought she got bit on the arm, but she got bit right on the side here. I was like, oh no. And she already thought she was dead, but now she's probably dead for real. But it seems like whatever treatment June is doing to Finch, Dwight and Sherry's son, will hopefully work on Grace. If not, we're going to have to say goodbye to her in the next episode, and that's going to be sad. Yeah, but it would make sense to off a couple of lead characters in the final season, especially in a show like this. When you got the word dead in the title, people are going to die. So hopefully not Grace, though. So we'll see what happens there. But overall, very, very good episode. This season's really been on a roll lately. And honestly, this might be one of their best seasons yet. We're only 4 episodes in. So hopefully they keep doing what they're doing and they keeps on coming. So I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. What did you think of this episode? I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings on it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Fear the Walking Dead drops new episodes every Thursday on AMC Plus, and then on the Sundays following as well on regular TV on AMC. Have a great rest of your night, everyone. Thanks again for stopping by, and of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.